In this short video, I'm going to teach you an EFT tapping technique that I use for the resolution of fear energy. Now, today, fear energy is really going crazy, as you know, if you've seen the media, all that. What we're going to be focused on today is what is your fear? What is your fear about this situation? And whenever I run up against fear, which of course I do, I always go to the very worst scenario and see if I could survive that. So let's play a little game. What are you afraid of? What is your fear? How high is it on a scale of 1 to 10? And play this little game with me. I feel afraid of blank. And if that happens, then blank. And if that happens, then what? And if that happens, then what? In doing this, you will get down to the very core issue. And let's just, let me give you an example of a guy I treated for fear of flying. So he said he had fear of flying. Okay, what's the worst thing that could happen if you got on an airplane? It could crash. What's the worst thing about that? I could die. What's the worst thing about that? I would leave my family all alone. So the real fear was not the fear of flying, it was the fear of leaving his family all alone. So if you have an intensity rating on a scale of 1 to 10, think how fearful you might be. And let's use the example fearful of survival. Okay, so maybe your style of life has diminished some due to the pandemic. There's lots of people that are flourishing in this atmosphere. But whatever it is for you, we want to tap it down. So just go here. This is tapping acupressure points. Follow after me. On a scale of 1 to 10, how afraid are you? Let's say you are afraid of your very survival. Even though I'm afraid for my very survival, repeat after me and do what I do. I love and accept myself. Keep it right here. Even though I'm afraid for my very survival, I love and accept myself. I'm afraid for my very survival. Now go to the top of the head. I'm afraid. Then tap right here. I might not survive. I might not survive. I might die. I might not survive. I could die. I might not survive. And then under the armpit, I'm afraid for my survival. And then just take a deep breath in and out. So see, you've brought it out. You've looked at it. You've tapped on it. You've said, I'm afraid I might die. And then what? Well, when I die, I know pretty much what's going to happen and it's all good. So I believe a lot of the fear is not so much of actually dying, but maybe leaving those behind. Maybe the angels are telling me right now, a lot of you're really fearful that you will have not accomplished what you desire to accomplish in this lifetime and that you would be a failure. And of course, in the eyes of the divine, there is no failures. You did as much as you could, and yet there's this feeling that we as light workers have that we would be a failure. And then what? So let's take a look at that. I'm afraid I might die, I might not survive, and I wouldn't accomplish my soul purpose. I would be a failure. Just keep tapping. I would be a failure. I would be a failure. I would be a failure, not accomplishing my soul purpose. That is so scary. That's why I came, not accomplishing my soul purpose. I would be a failure. And just take a deep breath in and out. Okay, so you're afraid you might not survive. You won't have accomplished your soul purpose. There's so many things that you desire to do, right? So, is that as bad as it can get? Why don't we just bring in some divine forgiveness of self? And you're going to notice when you bring in divine forgiveness of self and you accept that all is already forgiven and there's really nothing to forgive because you're human and you have done the best that you could with what you know and understand. Is that correct? And you say, well, no, I slopped off a lot of the time. Well, why did you slop off a lot of time? I'm sure that you did the best you could with how you were feeling at the time. Sometimes you just don't feel like doing much. So let's go back to here and let's just tap in self-acceptance and self-forgiveness. Even though I have all these fears, dying's not the worst. Not doing what I came for, that's the worst. I forgive myself for that. I forgive myself for that. I forgive myself for that. I forgive myself. 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 Now, here's what I know. A lot of us forgive ourselves, and yet we're blaming other people. Think of the people who have held you back and you didn't know what to do. So you let them hold you back. Why? Because you're doing the best you can with what you know. So let's send out some forgiveness to other people too. Here we go, tapping right here. Even though I feel confused, at least I'm not so fearful. It was a lot of other people's fault. Other people held me back, and I let them. I forgive them. I forgive myself. I forgive them. They were doing the best they could at the time. I forgive them. I forgive myself. Woo! Okay. So tune into how you're feeling now and tell me if you're ready to invite in the spirit of peace. Here's the thing about peace. Peace slows down your brain waves and you can make good decisions. When you're all agitated, scared, confused, your brain waves are going so fast that you cannot make good decisions. You make only emotional decisions about your life and what we're desiring to have in our life are what? Good decisions. So moving forward. So here we go. I forgive everyone. I invite the spirit of peace to fill me now. And just imagine that sweet dove of peace coming upon you. Spirit of peace, fill me now. Spirit of peace, fill me now. I allow peace. I am peaceful. Take in a deep breath in and out. I am peaceful. I am peaceful. Collarbone, I am peaceful. I am peaceful. and take a deep breath in and out. Now, we started off feeling fearful, and these might not be exactly your issues. However, just doing the exercise and saying the words can catapult you way ahead of being imprisoned by fear. So go back to whatever your original rating was of feeling afraid, maybe of your survival, and check in now that you have done some forgiveness of yourself, forgiveness of others, and invited in that spirit of peace. This is Rebecca Marina. If you like this, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll let you know every time I upload. And if this has blessed you, please share it with someone you know. Leave comments below because I love reading them. And you know what? Other people love reading them too. And a lot of times, every time they read it, they say a prayer for you. God bless you. I'll be back real soon.